We receive the waste within.
And do you know what happens to your rubber waste and as I or plastic waste after so one so no what watching a you know? And I'm say, do you know what happens after say wa kofre a yen kofo no mu use gas on betwe sabesabu TFE na yema into me franco no unim bi omde koye. And the Parliamentary Select Committee of Air Sanitation edomani akire mu our Jospon group of companies ZoomLion edomani akwa kwahwe de ekoso ewo ho e kwan a mo fa so a omo process ye waste materials ewo Kumasi ase. I know na me dey bra wo ha say me di ni simo de shine and no first day subscribe and like the video, let's share my for so any be and share. And for na Parliamentary Select Committee for the many be chimo just one group of companies you know. Adi on do many coach man sabe hu e ho me akasa me hu me yam share me because me nim e kwan a sabe sabe ye be twete afifiri ofi a ye de fa so say yet me process it so sabe sabe tie afini ma let me nya de foforo eye hospital eye pane ni ade a mo use ho nyina it me process the nya de foforo eye anwea ne bottles ni ade nyina utimi process the nya de foforo e wo hono ma dwumadi omudi wo hono anya asem peto me pese and I person me kasa be wanti no me pese be call just one group of companies or more warehouse and I mean kasa more factory hodom ni enko ha dwuma omudi e wo hono.
You have only one here. You only one. Sure. Okay. The second golf cart will be nice. I'm sure it's clear. So we are
to decompose and become like soil. But then when you put it in a tunnel, you manage it after 2 weeks, it is compost. This is how we are able to assure that we are producing enough organic fertilizer for the agricultural sector. So with all of this, we are able to produce 3,000 to 5,000 bags of compost every day. Every day we are filling over which tunnel we are using. Every day we have a new bag that is keeping the tunnels. Thank you. This is carrying the solar panel to the compost. We are just about to start the installation of the national grid. These are the chaff that you see coming out. Fresh organic compost. It will now go for quality control and then bagging. Water entering the container over here. So this is part of our compost screening system. Forms of LDP, like packaging material, when they also come, we produce pellets out of them, like shampoo gallons and other things. When they also come, we shred first in this form, we shred, then we form pellets. The pellets take after the color of the material. So the whiter they are, the whiter the pellets. The whiter pellets fetch for more money. So some customers request that we separate whites for them. Some also are okay with mixed colors, but then it goes for slightly less value. Then other types of plastics also pelletize. The only plastic so far we don't pelletize here at the moment is the PET bottles. PET bottles are the drinking bottles that we have everything. What we do is that we flake them. So when we shred them or crush them like this, we call them flakes. These flakes also fetch good value on the market. And these are also packaged for export. Some customers want them built, like we saw in the sorting plant. So either we build or we make PET and all the other types of plastic we pelletize. We send these back to the industry and they are used for the buckets, the plastic chairs, those cups of Ghana. I should mention also that ZoomLion, our sister company, all within just company, is one of the biggest buyers of the plastics. They use them to produce bins. 1 million bins every year that we produce and we distribute to the households. So we are also suppliers of pellets for them, but we also supply to other off-takers of plastics in the country. In a nutshell, that is what we do here. We have the requisite machines for shredding. You can pass through here, please, Mr. Chairman. So we have this washing station where we put the pure water circuits. So please, on the journey to campus, we go through several stages. The first one is we cover organic material needs time to decompose, break down, and then become more particulate. So going through the stages, we see that we need to change the nature. So you have material that is smaller, but still in this chunk, you find that there are not glasses, some stones, a little bit of leftover plastics. So we're also able to remove all of these with the machines that we have, some of which you saw when we were on the move, all the way until we get this material, which you can see is very clean and free of all the kinds of contraries and contaminants that you can see. When we have this, what we do is that we do the quality control. So we take this to the laboratory, we run heavy metal analysis and then microbial analysis to make sure that all germs, all pathogens, all other contaminations have been removed from it. Naturally, our composting process in the tunnels, as you saw, it raises to a temperature of about 75 degrees. So it sterilizes all the germs, but we still have to check in the lab that everything has been done as expected. And once this is good to go, we then bag it into the 50-kilogram bags. These are what we are doing, quite a lot of them every day, every week. And as we are speaking now, we are supplying quite a lot. The government is doing supplies of compost for smallholder farmers for southern, middle, northern zones. And we are also partakers in this. We've been partakers in PFJ1, PFJ2, and now we are partakers also in Operation Feed Ghana. We are also able to help the Feed Ghana agenda. Thank you. When you look around here, you see that we have some machines running. These are automated bagging machines, which help us to churn out the bags, so many that we need. Yes, please. We produce 3,000 bags. We do it in batches. So we have the team that stay over 16 hours in a day, and then we keep producing. 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy. We were even here before 24-hour economy came. We have staff that stay over all the 24 hours processing waste. So we are also future ready. 24 hours we are there, sir. Thank you. And yes, please. Standard general compost we produce. We also produce the liquid fertilizer. And then we also produce other forms of compost for special markets. So there are some markets where they are asking for, this is a standard NPK in organic form. But there are people who are asking for more nitrogen or more phosphorus, more potassium, depending on what they are trying to grow. So as and when they need, we also produce batches for them in different bags. But this is our standard compost that Ministry of Food and Agri typically is buying from us all year round. That we are also supplying to other farmers all year round. Thank you. Yes, this is at a retail price 75 Ghana cedis. But when people buy in bulk, we can consider discounts for them.
How do you export?
Yes, we don't directly export, but some of our buyers export them. So there are people in Ghana.
Put Ghana flag.
Yes,
so that they know that it's coming from Ghana.
We can, exactly, yes please. In fact, we have customers all the way in Nigeria, but Burkina is very common to grow onions and other things they buy. And then also in Côte d'Ivoire to grow cocoa and other things. Some of our distributors who buy, we take them to other...
And I'm also thinking that as a company, why don't you also venture into farming so that you can also use it?
Yes, please. I think it's a very, very good point. Yes. Yes. And within Doscom Group, we started a rice farming of late. Rice farming, Doscom has started of late. And last year, we produced quite a lot of bags for the first time. We are looking to grow our farming ability. And while the rice is going on, the cassava there are all kinds of leftover food in it which have formed this. And when you do your laboratory test in the labs, these are some of the best organic materials in the world. The food from Ghana and then the organic waste from Ghana is very good compost. We benchmark this against Canadian, American, EU, Israeli, Australian compost, and this is world class because our compost in the waste is very rich. Yes, we have the liquid fertilizer, so there's a way to soak this and take out the liquid from the assumption that we're doing the nutrients on the farm, depending on what they are growing. So we also have the liquid one that we also supply. Thank you. Fatima, we may then proceed to the golf carts and then move to...
And I mentioned earlier that this is a 1,000 cubic meter per day facility. What we use to control the feed or manage the waste that comes in is what we call our SCADA system. It is an HMI, human machine interface, where we are able to see real time what is happening on the field. Aside the cameras, these are also giving us indications. As you see, there are pumps, there are mixers, there are flow meters giving us exactly what is happening. Then I also mentioned earlier that we have online monitors. Because we are a company, we are supposed to meet some EPA regulatory requirements before we are able to discharge the waste. And then we have online monitors, which gives us indication. There are alarm systems that will blow when any of them moves out of range. And it is very crucial because you have no idea who is using the river or the stream in which you are feeding your waste to. So I think, Ranking Member, you asked the question, as in what are we doing to tap into the resource of the treat for washing? There is a bit of stigmatization associated with anything coming out from this place. So even with the compost that they mentioned, we produce what we call activated sludge. It is very high in NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and calcium. And so there is another research into adding that blend to what the solid waste produce, and then we'll use it to enrich the compost. That is another blend. But because there is a stigma attached to everything fecal, so fecal is, let's say, the English name for toilets. And basically, people rather prefer we say fecal instead of the toilet. But that is what we actually do here. Today, as at now, we've received about 85 to 90 trucks, and it's a 24-hour system. Trucks come in anytime. Any time to help people here all day, 24/7. We are also running on the national grid, but then we have concluded plans in installing a solar system, although there is a standby generator to work on that. So before we go on the plant, like I said earlier, these are real-time systems, but we have a model of the plant here that per safety requirements, we are supposed to let everyone who comes, before we go on the tour, the person needs to take the person to a safety induction. Just a few seconds. I'll let the safety officer come in. We use about 30.
I will indulge you all to rise up so that we can see what's there. Septic trucks to mingle with the smaller trucks and cars that come in. So with the cargo entrance, it's a one-way system. They come through here, the sludge, and then go out through that same entrance. With the smaller trucks or the ones that you came through, we come through here, you park here, and then you go out through that same system. So we'll be moving on to the plant. Right now, where we are in the administration building. This is the building that we are in now. So we'll be moving here and then going through this access point, and then we'll start here. So the explanation we are going to give on the plant will start here at the receiving bay, where we'll give you a full explanation. This entire miniature of the plant, we've classified this place as the high-risk area. That's the biological system. It's a tank, which is about 6 meters deep. So when I say 6 meters, it's about 2 or 3 times some of our heights here. So what we do is when we go there, anybody that goes there requires a permit. However, because of this trip and everything, my boss told me that we'll be going there, and so we've done all the necessary safety things that we need to do. All I advise is that when we go there, nobody leans on the guardrails. We just go through he does the explanation, and then we come down. However, also on this plant, if there's an emergency, behind us, there's an emergency assembly point. If you can look back, there's a green safety sign there, which is right here on the miniature. So if there's any emergency, we all gather here, and then we can get further instructions to move. Thank you very much, and welcome to Kumasi Wastewater Treatment Plant.
So the plant works 24 hours?
Yes.
Non-stop?
Yes.
It doesn't sleep?
Yes.
So we have 2 lines, you could see from here. Everything that is here, we have standby and then working, but the lines are all active. We are running the line. If we have a challenge with one, we shut one line, work on that line, while the other line is active and running. Okay. And then we'll briefly go to the lab.
In the standard that the EPA set for us. So in the lab, we monitor, we go to the plant for samples. And then we go to the plant for samples each day. Then we analyze for temperature, pH. You know, all these parameters have a bearing on the external environment where we discharge our water. So we monitor them, and we also use the same parameter to monitor our operations. Yeah, so we help us to know the extent of pollution that is coming into our plant, and make sure that our plant is can work to reduce it to a barest minimum or to the standard that is supposed to go into the environment. So we monitor the pH, the temperature, and also we do COD. COD is chemical oxygen demand. It's a reaction that we did with high temperature. We also monitor the BOD, that's biological oxygen demand. Also shows us the extent of pollution, but this one, we monitor it within 5 days. It's for 5 days, so that's why we normally dwell on the COD, which is a chemical reaction. Yes, then we also monitor TSS, total suspended solids. Total suspended solids, you know its effect on the waterway. If we allow more solids into the waterway, it clogs the system and virtually the water becomes dead. Yeah, in no time. And also monitor the nutrients.
Maybe because of time, we'll do the other explanation on the film.
Okay. We also monitor the nutrients to, because
Straight with the waste. When they come in, what we do is we take their details and once the data comes in, we pass it. So please let me coordinate it very well. So this is what happens every day. We have about 100 to 150 trucks coming in. The YouTube, you can come there. This is what happens all the time. They come in full, a truck full, and then we connect our hoses to the trucks, like the yellow one is happening there. With the sludge, the waste. Some of them, their hoses are quite not fitting, so that's why you have a few bits of leakage there. But most of them are within, they are okay, and the sludge in the full problem. And then I mentioned earlier, I want us to see our spring room. Of different sizes. The tall, I would let you see one of our products, which is called a charcoal briquette. So at this point, please, we would have to get down here. Then we'll go to our main treatment system, which is the heart of our plant, please. Kindly watch your step. This is what we call the heart of our treatment system. The biological basin. If something happens to this basin, we are in a lot of trouble. So we are holding a lot of volumes in here. And when we receive the waste, within 3 to 4 hours, it gets to what we call the primary settling space. So the smell around here, and when you move a few steps, shows the work that we are doing. This is after we have taken all the solids from it, and the waste comes in its raw form for biological treatment, where we'll be breaking down all the things that we mentioned in the lab. The nutrients, the ammonia, the nitrogen gas, all those things. We need a biological treatment to do that. So we have microorganisms in here. They form part of the waste. We reintroduce them, when some are expanded, we raise them, and all those things. And this process takes between is dissolved oxygen. The animals or the microorganisms in the wastewater cannot pick up this one here. To give them dissolved oxygen in the dissolved form that we can do. So if we introduce this one into a nearby stream or anything, we are safe to do that. So this is the heart. Now I want us to see the final product. From here we go to what we call the secondary tank, which is just adjacent to this one. Then we go to the final tank. But then we need to go to the secondary tank. We go to the final tank first. So you see what comes in and all of those things. So we go just through how we descend the staircase and then all our lines are kind of sewer. So they come to the UV system and then we come to our final effluent. You can just come and have it. What you see here actually is not the color, it is the overflow. And so we have done. So yes, so this is actually what is happening. What came in is on our left, and our final product is on the right. Yes. So We have what we call the clear water and clean water. The difference is that clean water is what we can do. Clear water needs another step of processing before. Yes, Israel. Yes.
All this and you can drink it.
Yes. Unfortunately, it also takes a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
And we have more better water. So water you drink directly from the better water.
Because we have water. We don't want to spend money.
Why should I be drinking this water?
You are not even harvesting real water.
But in those places where water is scarce, all these things they have to use. But then for the trucks that come in and everything, we use this water a lot on the plant. Washing, landscaping, even in our washroom and all those things. Even the farm, there's a miniature thing is done, and this water that we are working with. We have catfish as well in these tanks that we are trying to see how they are going to survive.
So that's the end.
This is the end.
For washing and
For now, that is the end. Yeah. Because like I mentioned, it costs a lot to add a tertiary treatment.
This one. This is what we feed. And then the final thing about
For after here, and so we are able to destroy. So like I said, if any of the parameters move out of it, then we have to recycle. No smell,
So, yes.
smokeless.
If we don't tell you it's from us,
Yes.
as a human excreta, you will never know.
Yes.
But this is it. And when you have this, you save trees because this one will serve as your charcoal. And then you see, when you go to most of the pubs and the bars, the shisha, yes, that is what that is what is used. And this is the charcoal. You have this, you save the forest. Smokeless. And it also lasts very long because of how compact it is, because of the inbuilt gases and all that. It's a very good thing, and it's something that we should, if we want to go green, it's something that we should use.
So this will be the
Buy it,
final. Like, as we see, a lot of trucks will be coming. All the time they are coming. About 100 to 150 trucks every day, and we have to sell them. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, James. Please, team, we have to move on to the medical waste treatment facility.
This bean gets here, there are sensors that notifies the machine that a bean has been placed in there ready for treatment. So it goes up, and once it goes up, the lid is open. If the bean gets to the top, there are sensors that also identify that this bean has gotten to the top. So the lid will open for the waste to be released into the receptacle over here. Over here is where we have the shredding blades. It shreds the waste into tiny pieces, and you can see from here the shredded material in there. So you can see how the materials have been shredded in there. Over here too, we have a stirrer which stirs the waste to make sure that the moisture content in the waste is uniformly distributed. The reason being that this is a microwave machine. So with the microwave machine, it uses the moisture within the waste to generate the internal mix, just like microwaving the food. So once the microwave radiations are released into the waste, it is called the preheating stage. Then the waste is now heated to temperatures of about 100 degrees Celsius. Over here we have the holding tank. This is what we call the holding tank. So it holds the heated waste for about 20 minutes. To ensure that all the harmful microorganisms are sterilized. It operates in the first in, first out principle. So the waste that was initially heated will first also come out. So this is how the final product looks like. So you can see that the waste has been shredded, and then all the needles, syringes, everything is also broken. So you can't have someone having any intact needle in there. So this is how the end product looks like. So from here, The thing that is still catchment areas, our target is that by the end of the year, we would have reached out to the whole of the country. So that healthcare waste will be a matter of the past. All the challenges that we're facing, especially when people were using incinerators, burning the waste, pollutants released into the atmosphere. You can see at this process, there's no emission whatsoever, no water emitted, no smoke released. And this is one of the greenest technologies that we have currently in the world. So this is the operations for medical waste services. Thank you very much.
Apasopa se nyankopon ye papa makin Pentecost nyankopon tiase wa mana adwen papa odi ade papa say aba o man mo em say o president say president before wa mana adwen papa odi ade papa say aba o man mo fat nyankopon tinu kwandam na esrega na fo nyina o hwe ye ene wona o tie o radio so say and then coming names apart from Sadako Bia, our company be motorway kwana so name say Just Pond Group. Our institution say produce over 3,000 bags of fertilizer every day. In fact, they say you phone na wagana memo ha stakeholders cocoa board for obibia to nani enche ha and are buying so yenim say a private person benya njina sopa fa pempa atumi agina aben akone nima enyina ye government support aban support ye be hia say aban as a Ghanaian they be am say me a lawmaker but I believe in made in Ghana goods and products everything every Ghanaian owned business biano me tejiri me support pa say yenso say obiti baby na onim say ni papi wo Ghana hapa e chene pa say Ghana had no papa wa ha enti esre obi bia say enyina yemwa yenem say ye select committee on sanitation and water resources we san nyoma yi eboa ma ye reduce sanitation problems and challenges in the country yenem say there are a few more challenges as a committee we will take it on board to ensure say problems are ye who were the various municipal assemblies subaba form and one say aban chefa say abambe tuya company service providers eka it so over 2 years abandi ZoomLion any Jospon omojumadi edu ebebre eka na nyame ncha de aban foforo yi ayen hyehyɛ budget yenra ya colleague your senior member colleague in Parliament your former leader Ato Forsen editor about a month ago or two there were about 13 billion Ghana cedis captured in it. It be clear arrears a car, a bank, private companies, many other service providers on road sector, all the sectors in the country. No, yes, ZoomLion, and I said Just Pond Group. Omujuma debia omudima abambia abandi omukadiano ekano yentumi mbwana yentua se na baya Ghana fo a omujuma from nsa ense non placer bibia yeye campaign kura mafo bisa na ZoomLion adwuma ya anya bia anye adwuma ye betumi ya na ZoomLion mumpa bi mba ma yenye everywhere it comes across omo ye Ghana fo they are not foreigners nti se payment etumi release na ye boa ZoomLion aba ma kwan bie kwan ma na tumi afa etua enkwala naka na atuma bie kwan so ama yafa bebre wonam so amohwe enim so manya adwuma ye no e befa bebre ama manya adwuma ye
two countries say over 1.2 billion aban ede ZoomLion kano obetimi
definitely because ZoomLion create enyuma metuma aka say or you're one of the major employers of our citizens of this country, Ghanaians in this country. Until so be it me at Juma. I mean, there was a one I was a Dibuano, and then can buy a yen I buying, we are green, yellow, black, red, we are Ghanani, a buying a yen I buying. You say a buying swa, President John Dramani Mahama edi enim no we are committed say adibia ebe new to the benefit of Ghanaians no wota echiri nti aketwa bia eka bia ede hobia no obetua akle yakopon to meet
before say be correct before say be correct so we are impression of also
I am impressed. This is the Obi Timiati Jumakuna or Fagana for Bibria, Mansaka Manua. I mean, there was a one I was a Dibuano.